I'm not a British historian. I don't really care about that. I do like British intrigue in terms of imperial geopolitics. And so as we get up into the period when we have Malthus. Malthus is important because Reverend Malthus is an Anglican minister who decides that he wants to adopt a philosophy that is really supposed to be an economic theory, but he stares at some jars with flies in them and determines that there's not enough resources in Britain to feed everybody. There's too many poor people. And so for the benefit of the poor and for England, so that it doesn't collapse, there has to be a vast renovation of how we understand socio-economic relations and the divisions of resources. And of course, it always ends up being this doom and gloom thing where they predict, we're all going to die. Hello, does this sound familiar? If we don't do X, Y, Z, we're all going to be dead in 20 years, 30 years, 40 years.
Take the action necessary and we build again in a greener, more sustainable and more inclusive way.
Oh, yes.
Then we will end up having more and more pandemics and more disasters from ever accelerating global warming and climate change.
So we'll have so many more pandemics if we don't take everybody's money right now. It's just preposterous for us to sit around and just let this.
This is the one moment.
The one and only. If we miss this, what are we?
As you've all been saying, when we have
as he's reading off of his post-its given to him by Klaus himself. So yeah, the Marshall Plan thing was summer of 2020. This was last year.
As we tackle this crisis, our efforts cannot be a series of independent initiatives running in parallel. The scale and scope of the threat we face call for a global systems-level solution based on radically transforming our current fossil fuel-based economy to one that is genuinely renewable and sustainable.
Right. All of their friends, the fossil fuel people, we're talking trillions of dollars of investment that needs to be somehow put to bed so we can get more green.
So, ladies and gentlemen, my plea today is for countries to come together to create the environment that enables every sector of industry to take the action required.
Which means come together today, give up your sovereignty, because the little individual actions that run parallel to everybody else but not on the same level, that has to be done away with. Everybody in local decision making, that has to be done away with. And we have to find a supernatural or supranational authority to bring you all to heel.
We know this will take trillions, not billions of dollars. We also know that countries, many of whom are burdened by growing levels of debt, simply cannot afford to go green. Here we need a vast military-style campaign to marshal the strength of the global private sector.
You heard how he had to rush through military? He rushed that word. Military-style campaign.
With trillions at his disposal, far beyond global GDP.
Far beyond global GDP. You understand what that means? Global gross domestic product. We need sums of money far beyond what the globe can produce economically right now. What the fuck does that mean? What does that mean?